Doing?
What's cracking like?
I'm doing pretty good. I want to ask, can you hear me all good before we actually do the whole live thing?
Oh yeah. I hear you.
All right, perfect. So I'm just gonna put us on live here in about a couple seconds.
All right, for sure.
All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are doing something a little different tonight. Normally it's a telephone, but you know what? We are live on social media and the airwaves, and we got the one, the only West Coast hip hop legend. We got Daz Dillinger right here. How you doing tonight, Daz?
Chilling, man. High as a motherfucker, man. Chilling right here, man. Outlaw Radio.
Hey, man, you already know, man. I was talking to a couple of my buddies there before I did this interview, and I was like, $20 says Daz is going to spark a blunt.
You won.
But, yo, Daz, like, I know you're a very busy guy, man. You got a lot of great stuff in the works right now. But I have to ask you, like, from the very beginning, like, what sparked Daz Dillinger to actually get into the music industry?
I mean, my mother wrote songs for Stax Records. And she was a soul singer, so, it runs in the family and, just the love of hip hop.
Hey, most definitely. Like, I know it's probably a dumb question, but did you ever think about trying getting into the soul music yourself, or were you just strictly like, nah, man, fuck that. I got to stick with the hip hop?
I mean, I love listening to the blues because the blues never lie. You know what I'm saying? Some Johnny Taylor, the B.B. King, all that, you know what I'm saying? I take all that and put into my raps, you know what I'm saying? So it all entwines together.
And of course, as majority of your fans already know, that you actually learned the production from Dr. Dre. I was wondering, like, how did you actually initially meet Dr. Dre? And of course, what was it like actually being his protege?
I mean, Snoop my first cousin, so, it all runs in the family and just looking and learning, not saying too much and letting your actions speak louder than your words and make music.
And one thing I got to ask, because like you've been doing this for like 30 plus years, if not more now. So like, obviously you learned a lot from Dr. Dre. Is there any of those things that you learned from Dr. Dre that still carries over into like today's side of production?
Quality, not quantity, but quality. The best sounds, the best everything.
And I got to say, first and foremost, Daz, your production is absolutely phenomenal, man. And I got to say, you don't get enough credit that you royally deserve, man. You're, in my personal opinion, I say this on a daily basis. Daz Dillinger, one of the best producers to ever grace the West Coast.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And of course, you actually were on Dr. Dre's The Chronic in 1992, man. What was it like actually being a part of that record?
I mean, didn't it got nominated? It went into the Hall of something, didn't it?
I think yeah, with the Hall of Masters, whatever you call it. So like in 100 years from now, they can pull it and people can still listen to it.
And man, hey, I'm good to be here for the rest of my life. When we're not here, we're still gonna be here. So it's a good thing to be a part of a classical album. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Dr. Dre.
And speaking of Dr. Dre, I heard what happened to him recently, man. I just want to say first and foremost, my prayers go out to him, man. I really hope he makes a speedy recovery, man, because hip-hop still needs Dr. Dre.
Most definitely.
And one thing I've also written, that you also are a member of as well, and that everybody knows of, judging by your hat, is the Dogg Pound, man. How did yourself and Corrupt actually get connected?
Well, Snoop, my cousin, we always run in the family, and we, it's a Dogg Pound thing. We the gang, so we all just put it down. Me and Corrupt, you know what I'm saying? So history spoke when we first did Poetic Justice.
And I gotta say, man, I remember the Dog Food 1 record, man, was absolutely phenomenal. I noticed your hats as well that you have rolling out as Dog Food 2. When that gets released, man, what can our listeners expect? Is it going to be just kind of like the same vibe as Dog Food 1, or does Daz Dillinger spice it up a little bit?
It's gonna be a whole nother vibe. We're grown now, you know what I'm saying, and bigger and better things, you know what I'm saying, what we did in the past. If you want the past, go buy the old records, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna give y'all the new us, you know what I'm saying? We got our first single that's gonna come out called Emotional, Imaginary Emotions. You know what I'm saying? And we dropped one single already, which was Let's Roll. That's on Spotify right now. Daz and Corrupt, produced by DJ Too High. So, we're just gearing up right now. having fun. I dropped a new book too, so I got a new book. Hold on, let me get this book real quick.
Most definitely sounds great. Well, Dad, before Daz comes back, guys, make sure you snag a copy of this book, man, because I know I'm buying one once we get off the air. And I gotta say, that cover is crispy, man. I really enjoy that cover.
Yeah, I got it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got pictures galore in there. It tells a story when we first start. I got the infamous Death Row contract in there. You know what I'm saying? So, that deal. Suge Knight.
And I gotta say, that right there is a record deal that started it all, man.
Yeah, it was a fucked up record deal, but you gotta learn from it.
Hey, most definitely. But I gotta say though, from a fan's point of view, we got some great classic music out of it. But I want to say, I'm sorry that he did you wrong on those, man, because you deserve so much more of that contract.
He didn't do us wrong. We just got smart. You know what I'm saying? You grow out of shit.
And the one thing that I have to ask you, and I know you probably answered this a million times, but you yourself and Tupac Shakur were like very, very close. And I remember hearing you say in previous interviews that you were actually the first producer to come in contact with Tupac once he got off the plane. I have to ask you, man, what was his energy like after posting bail? Because some people are happy, some people are still a little fucked up after being in prison.
Man, when you out of prison and they giving you $500,000 and you flying on a private plane going to the studio to LA, hey, he was hyped up. You know what I'm saying? We went in there and did Ambitious of a Rider. I Ain't Mad at You, Two of America's Most Wanted, Got My Mind Made Up, Scandalous. You know, it's history.
And I gotta say though, with Ambitions as a Rider, when you actually put that beat together, because that's probably one of the most famous West Coast beats of all time. Like, did you think that song would be as big as it actually is today?
No, we was just making music. We really wasn't thinking about what we was doing at the time. But now that I look at it, yeah, it pays well, and it's gonna pay me for the rest of my life. So I appreciate the fans out there, and I'm gonna keep giving y'all hot music.
And how long did it take Tupac to write that? Because I know, like, I've heard stories where he could literally write a song in a minute.
Yeah, it took a minute to write that one, you know what I'm saying? He went in there and spit it. I came back, it was done. We was to the next song, you know what I'm saying?
And I gotta say, man, that's absolutely phenomenal, man. Like, his work ethic was just phenomenal.
Most definitely.
And before we move off the topic of Tupac, like, I know you probably shared countless memories with the man, but I have to ask you, what was one of your most fondest memories of sharing with the legendary Tupac?
Smoking all my weed up. Smoking all his weed up. You know, waking up early in the morning. He knocking on the door to get the first, you know, because I always make beats in the morning, so he always knew to come in the morning to get the music.
And I have to ask you as well, like in '95, the Dogg Pound released their debut record, which is actually Dog Food, which actually was the first release from Death Row Records that wasn't produced by Dr. Dre. I have to ask you, man, like, what was it like actually doing production on your own record?
It was a good thing. I had Dr. Dre mix it, and that's what gave it that Dr. Dre sound, along with my sound. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to Dr. Dre making it happen for us, taking the time out so you can fuck with us, you know what I'm saying?
And also as well, you actually spent a brief time at Jermaine Dupri's So Def Recordings. I have to ask you, what's the story behind that, and how did you actually get connected with Jermaine Dupri?
I did a freestyle, and Jermaine Dupri heard it, and he got at me. You know what I'm saying? And it was history. I moved to Atlanta, and I've been here ever since. You know what I'm saying?
And I gotta say as well, man, like when Jermaine Dupri heard that freestyle, like how long did it take him to really reach back out?
It was about a good week. You know, we've been talking, but as far as us connecting and flying to Atlanta, and you know, I'm seeing everything. He taking me to Puerto Rico, you know, taking me around. It's a great feeling, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jermaine Dupri, the little big homie.
And I gotta say as well, man, like one of my favorite records, solo records that you actually did was Retaliation, Revenge, and Get Back. That I think it dropped around March of '98. I have to ask you, man, like what is the story behind that phenomenal record? Because I still listen to that record like it came out yesterday.
Man, there was a lot of gangbanging and feuding. shit you don't even want to be in. You know what I'm saying? It was Tupac had died, and Orlando Anderson and Suge Knight, Death Row, Bloods, Crips, Long Beach, Compton, Watts, all that shit in one pot. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, you never know how it was gonna go down. So I just, just retaliation, revenge, and get back. That's what it was in the streets. That's what it was. Wolves.
And I gotta say, the one song that still stands out to me today that I still play on the radio and I still listen on my MP3 player, man, is In California, man. You go absolutely fucking hard on that song.
Who gets it up and who be rocking all that rough stuff? All in the cut is young Daz with the pimp strut. All in the gang. Hey, Immortal, you know what it is.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. Every time that song comes on, man, it's like I go buck fucking wild, man. Like that song is my jam, man. I tell my wife that, and she's always like, "Yo, babe, that it's everything's your jam." I'm like, "No, this is my fucking jam."
For sure, man. Shout out to your wife, man.
And I have to ask you as well, man. Like, with that record as well, did you think it would actually be as big as it was, being like one of your first solo projects?
No, I was just in there working, you know what I'm saying? It all had, Death Row was doing what it was doing, and I was just being me and staying afloat. And, the music was flowing. And that's what I came out with, you know what I'm saying? My first solo album.
And I gotta say, man, it's a great way to start off a solo career as well, man. That album is freaking phenomenal.
Appreciate it, bro.
And as we already know, as we can tell, you are a marijuana enthusiast, because, Daz Dillinger loves his weed. But I have to ask you, what are your thoughts on California actually legalizing marijuana? Are you with it or are you against it?
I was always with it. I was always going to jail. I was always caught with it. And now that they legalized it, it's a great thing. And they going state to state. And some people don't call it marijuana. They call it hemp. Hemp is legal worldwide, right?
Almost definitely.
That's what we got to call it. Get away with it.
And down here in Canada, like, hemp is actually legalized as well now. And I smoke a lot of weed myself. So like when I first started like smoking, it was legal. It was illegal. So like I had to go in alleys and, you know what I mean? Almost like it was some cocaine or something, But now it's weird being able to go into a government spot and buying weed. It's just different to me now. It feels weird.
Yeah, even though it's legal, I still be acting like it's illegal. Who shit the cops?
And then you're sitting back being like, wait, it's been legalized for a couple years now. It's like, still, I ain't gonna fucking trust it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all kind of good weed. I got Dog Pound Buds. You know what I'm saying? I got my own weed company, so you can follow me on Instagram at Dog Pound Buds. You know what I'm saying? I got a new strain that I got called Cushamundo.
Hell yeah. And I have to ask, does that ship worldwide or like is it just strictly United States? Because I know Canada's legal, but I don't really know how the import fees really work on weed.
It's only in California right now.
Hey man, well I need to hit up California and get some of that Daz Dillinger weed because I already know I'm gonna get crippled.
And you do know that, man. It's powerful. See my eyes. I'm trying to keep them over.
And the one thing I have to ask you, because like I notice a lot on social media, especially being in the music industry, like as we already know, you're a legendary beat maker and producer, of course, but with today's society, a majority of artists can pay a cheap amount of money and get 100 beats in bulk. I was wondering, from an artist of your standpoint, how do you feel about that? And what's some good advice you can give some of these artists that are buying those reused shitty beats and help them get back on the narrow path?
Well, it's all about you coming up with a great song out of those shitty beats. Some shitty beats can be a great song if you put the right words, right melody to it. You know what I'm saying? And hey, I did it all. You know what I'm saying? After the Dog Food album, I'm retiring from rap.
And well, I gotta say, man, first and foremost, when you do retire, I gotta say, just since I have you here, thank you for years of amazing music, because you most definitely helped myself and millions upon millions of individuals worldwide, with your music, man. You definitely made a positive impact on my life. So thank you for that, Mr. Dillinger.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I just love music, you know what I'm saying? And I'm always give it to you, you know what I'm saying? I'm retired from rap. but I'ma still support rap. You know what I'm saying? Because I love it. You know what I'm saying? I already did it. I rap with the best of the best, the greatest of the greatest, and the dopest of the dopest.
And speaking of the dopest, man, I also noticed that you actually created another duo recently with Capone. Like,
Oh yeah.
how did yourself and Capone actually get connected? And then, of course, what's next for Daz Dillinger and Capone?
I mean, we connected through Drink Champs. Shout out to Noriega and EF. And you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And just hooked up with Nori, hooked up with Corrupt, hooked up with Capone. Me and Capone hooked up in Vegas, did one song which led to 20 something songs. And then, you know what I'm saying, hey, let's put it together, man, the two underdogs. And, you know, I've been doing like albums with other people like me and Dub C, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, me and Corrupt always doing something, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So, you know, just collaborating. And me and Gip did an album from the Goody Mob, you know what I'm saying? Just collaborating, you know what I'm saying? Always spreading it around.
And also, the one thing I noticed as well that you guys are actually working on a biopic as well. I noticed that was posted around 2015. Like, what's actually going on with that? And of course, what can our listeners expect from that?
This is the biopic right here. My script. The biopic is this book right here. Instead of me begging somebody to say, "Can you give me some money to shoot a movie?" I say, "Fuck it. Let me put it in a book and make it look good with the pictures and explain everything I did." And when you read this book from the top to bottom, this is my script. This is what the movie gonna look like. You know, everything always start off with a book first, then it goes to the movie. So this is my prize right here. 240 pages.
And I got to say that's smart as well, you know, because like unfortunately with today's society, everybody is wanting to do movies and biopics and whatnot. So I think you have the right strategy there with that book.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, great status. You know what I'm saying? I had a dream. I was asleep. I was high as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And something told me take my script and turn it into a book. And I was sitting in the car smoking like this, and Nipsey Hussle popped into my window in my dream. Like he popped in my window, like, "What's up, Daz? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If I could sell if I could sell a CD for $100, you could sell a book for $100. I'm out of here," and pop back out the window. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shh. And then I woke up out the dream, and that was on my mind. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Nipsey Hussle.
It sounds like a gift from the grave, man. You know what I mean? He gave you a phenomenal idea, man, and it's working. I'm seeing
Well,
those book sales actually going crazy.
oh yeah, you know, I sold like, you know, I sell like 450 books a month. You know what I'm saying? So it's a nice piece of change.
And also, when we have you here, make sure everybody you do purchase one of his new books because he actually
Yeah.
personalizes it himself to you. So snag a book, you get a personalized autograph from the man himself.
Yeah, me and Corrupt started. You know what I'm saying? So when you get the book, you'll get this right here.
That
That's a Corrupt signature.
sounds like a pretty damn good deal, in my personal opinion.
And I personalize it on there. You know, I'm gonna strike it up for anybody who support us. You know what I'm saying? So go to www.dpg for life. You know what I'm saying? dpgforlife.com and get the book. Or you can go to thedogpound.com and get the book.
But I have to ask you, Daz, what's next for you? Because I know you're a jack of all trades. So obviously, like, you know, Dog Food 2, the book. Is anything else that I missed that you actually want to promote when we stuff you here live on social media and the radio station airwaves?
Man, just keep logging on to at Daz Dillinger, all social media. And I got everything dropping, you know what I'm saying? More books. We got new music, you know what I'm saying? My cousin Chris Dow got the Dog Pound Family distribution. You know what I'm saying? And we just distributing records. We just all around just doing business for 221, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, most definitely, Daz. And I got to say, first and foremost, man, like, where can our listeners actually find you, like, social media-wise? Like on the Gram, Facebook, Twitter?
All around at Daz Dillinger.
Most definitely.
DAZDILLINGER. The star of the show.
Most definitely. And Daz, I won't take up too much more of your time, but I got to say, first and foremost, again, thank you for years of amazing music, man. You know, Like I said before, you are one of those producers that never got enough credit, man. I gotta say, man, Daz Dillinger, the best West Coast producer of all time, man. The beats you make are fucking phenomenal.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I learned from the best, man.
Most definitely, man.
Doing it, and y'all be watching out for the Dog Food 2 album coming out, Daz and Corrupt, you know what I'm saying, with the documentary. Plus, we got the book out right now, you know what I'm saying, and I'm putting a soundtrack. I got a soundtrack coming out this week for this book right here. So it got Here For You and old songs, you know what I'm saying, that never came out, that's in my catalog. And it's a part of history that y'all might want to hear that we've been hearing for years, you know what I'm saying? But it's time for y'all to hear it, check it out, you know, classic music.
Most definitely, and I'm looking forward to that, Des. And but I gotta say,
everybody out there that's staying safe with your mask on, staying quarantined. You know what I mean? This COVID shit is realer than real, tougher than tough, and we're gonna get through it. You know what I'm saying? And thanks for everybody for voting and shit.
Hey man, most definitely. I gotta say thank you so much again, Daz, and most definitely have yourself a wonderful night out there on the West Coast.
You too, DJ Mortal. Appreciate it. Shout out to everybody out there, Outlaw Radio. Keep tuning in. Canada to Long Beach. You know what it is. Daz Dillinger, DJ Mortal, Dog Pound, Outlaw Radio. We out of here. You bitch, yeah.
Have a good one, Daz.
All right, for sure, bro.